back again. He's got his bone again. Drop it, and I roll a whole bunch of treats away from them that are more valuable than whatever it is that I need to get from him. Okay? And again, as just a completely separate exercise, if you want to teach him that drop it and predicts that good things are going to happen and start to pay attention, you can just do this, drop it, and toss treats. You don't actually have to take anything away from him. Again, this is called classical conditioning, and classical conditioning simply means learning to pair something with something else, either positive or negative. In this case, drop it, the words drop it or the phrase drop it are being paired with yummy things, so that he learns drop it means something good's going to happen. I'm going to spit whatever it is that I have in my mouth out because I'm going to look around for whatever yummies she's probably thrown on the ground. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do recalls part 2. So last week we talked about saying here and giving him something yummy for it. Here. So hopefully you guys have been practicing that. If not, I do want you to do that, because what I should have seen was him whipping around when he heard that noise, but he just was fixated on something else. In case I wasn't clear, do not use here officially. Prior to this exercise today, I don't care what he does when he hears the word here, okay? Here! All I care is that he learns to make an association between those two words, or excuse me, that word and good things happening. Just like drop it, right? But this is a little bit different. What I want to see, not much different, but a little bit. What I want to see is that when I say here, he turns, he whips around and he looks at me. Because if you think about coming when called, first thing the dog has to do is acknowledge that you exist, right? You have to get him to respond to that word like come, and we've changed the word from come to here. Reason being learned irrelevance, which I went into last week. Basically, the dog learns to tune it out if you nag. So do not nag him with here. Here! Yes, good. So very slow, very latent. He did turn eventually. I would suggest that you do more of this first exercise, which just is here, followed by something yummy. Here, followed by something yummy. Doesn't have to do anything. All he has to do is learn to associate the word here with good things happening, so that when I start to use this formally, he turns and he looks at me. Because if you think about coming when called, what's the first thing the dog has to do before he gets from point A to point B? He needs to turn and look at me. Okay, that's the problem. If you go to the beach and you look at owners who are not getting their dogs to be able to successfully come to them when they're called, the first reason is the dog is ignoring them. Okay, so I'm going to actually let him off leash for this. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to say the word here, and if he turns, I'm going to click that one. Click that. Oops, of course, I have to go get my clicker. Steak's getting old. All right, here, if he turns and looks like he just did, then he gets a click and then he gets a treat. I do not repeat it. If he does not turn and look, I don't ask him again. I don't ask him again. I don't ask him again. What I might do is here, combine the two exercises. So this, he's sitting there right with me. Here, all he's learning is when she says that word, something fabulous happens, so that when I start to move around the yard and he gets more interested in stuff other than me, I can try using it for real. Here. Yeah, see, total disregard. I'm going to take that. I'm going to go, okay, so I won't do this too much longer because he doesn't have the first part of this exercise down very well, which is here plus treat. Here. So he turned and he looked. I made it pretty easy for him. So he gets a click and a treat for that. So again, the difference between the two exercises here. Yeah, see, not paying any attention. First, the two exercises is, first one, he doesn't have to do anything. Calvin. I'm going to go get him. sees one, which is here, and he gets a treat. I don't care what he does. I could also make this simpler by simply working with him on a leash as opposed to letting him wander around. Here, so he looked around, he was looking at stuff, I said it, he got clicked and treated for that. He doesn't have to be super far away from me. Here. That's also important to know because the further away from you he is, the harder. Here. So you see he's looking away. The moment he looks away, I say that word, here. And if he responds to me, he gets rewarded for that. He gets a click which says, again, that's what I'm looking for. And here comes your stuff. Here. Good boy. So this is a great exercise to practice on top of the first one. So again, the difference between the first exercise, which is simply pairing that word with good things happening, you don't use a clicker, you don't use yes, you don't do any of those things. Here, and he doesn't actually have to turn and look at you. All you're doing is saying, if you hear that word, oh, you're going to learn that that word is so awesome. And he's not going to be able to help himself. What you're looking for is an emotional response to that word that's so strong that even if you're competing with stuff in the environment, he's going to want to turn and look. Okay?